Total accident. Your son started it, my fiancée snapped. On Christmas morning, her daughter smashed my son's new $1,300 phone. No one moved. He whispered, "It's okay. I probably didn't deserve it anyway." That sentence. That night, I paused $8,500 and canceled her second delivery. By morning, the chat exploded, and my fiancée opened her gift box and froze. My name is Teddy. I'm 39. I'm an obstetrician. And most days, I make my living staying calm while everyone else loses their minds. I stay calm when a father faints in the delivery room before the baby is even crowning. I stay calm when monitors start shrieking. I stay calm when 3 nurses are talking at once. Someone is crying, someone is vomiting, and a grandmother keeps asking whether the baby's nose looks too serious. I stay calm for a living. But on Christmas morning, standing in my fiancée Marissa's living room, with wrapping paper all over the floor and cinnamon rolls cooling in the kitchen, I feel something in me go absolutely still. Because her daughter Sienna takes my son Noah's brand new $1,300 phone, looks him right in the eye, and smashes it on the stone edge of the fireplace. No one moves. No one says her name sharply. No one jumps up. No one even gives me that automatic little gasp decent people make when they see a child's face collapse in real time. Marissa just throws up a hand from the couch and snaps. Total accident. Your son started it. My son is 12. He is standing there with the broken phone in both hands, and then he whispers, so softly I almost miss it, "It's okay. I probably didn't deserve it anyway." That sentence. That sentence lands harder than the phone hitting stone. Because kids don't make a sentence like that out of thin air. They learn it. They learn it from 100 little moments. From who gets blamed, from who gets excused, from who gets asked to be mature, from who learns that peace in the room matters more than their hurt. I don't yell. That is the first thing Marissa gets wrong about me. She mistakes quiet for weakness all the time. She thinks because I'm not loud, I'm flexible. She thinks because I'm not dramatic, I'll keep paying. I set my coffee mug down on the kitchen counter. I look at Noah. "Go get your coat," I say. Marissa actually laughs. "Oh my God, Teddy, don't do this." It slipped. Sienna folds her arms like she's already preparing her witness statement for Congress. "I was literally just looking at it," she says. He was waving it around. Noah looks horrified at the idea that I might believe that. That alone tells me too much. He shouldn't be worried about defending himself when his gift is lying shattered in his hands. He should be angry, or crying, or stunned. Instead, he is worried about whether his pain is inconvenient. That is what gets me. Not the phone, not even the money. That. Marissa stands up now, already irritated that this is becoming a scene she didn't schedule. "You are seriously overreacting over a phone?" I turn and look at her. "No," I say. "I'm reacting to what my son just said." She blinks. "What does that even mean?" "It means I'm done, I think." But I don't say that yet. Noah goes to get his coat. I kneel down, pick up the broken case from the floor, and put the phone in my pocket before Sienna can add one more careless footstep to the damage. Diane, Marissa's mother, stands frozen near the breakfast table with a platter of sugared pastries and that expression rich women get when they want bad behavior to stop existing without anyone forcing them to acknowledge it. Brent, Marissa's brother, is halfway through opening a gift card box and looks like he would very much like to be somewhere else. On the moon, ideally. Marissa puts both hands on her hips. "So you're going to punish everybody on Christmas because the kids had a stupid moment?" There it is. The compression trick. The thing selfish people do. Take one ugly event, flatten all context, make it sound tiny, then accuse you of being unstable for noticing what it means. I help Noah with his coat. I keep my voice level. No. What happens next is because this was not one stupid moment. Then I walk my son out of that house. I don't slam the door. I don't threaten anybody. I don't even look back. But by the time the day is over, I pause $80 to $500 and cancel her second delivery. By the next morning, the family group chat explodes. And when Marissa opens the giant Christmas gift box waiting in her foyer, She freezes so completely, I'm told she looks like somebody unplugged her personality. That is the beginning. The truth is, this starts long before Christmas morning. Things like this always do. I'm Teddy Mercer. I live in Charlotte. I'm an obstetrician at a private hospital where my hours are stupid and my coffee intake is medically questionable. I'm a widower. My wife Leah dies when Noah is 6. Brain aneurysm. One minute, she is standing in our kitchen telling me we're out of dish soap, and 2 days later, I am buying a black suit while my son asks when mommy comes home. So for years, it's just me and Noah. Our life is not glamorous, but it is steady. I make pancakes on Saturdays, even though my first one always looks diseased. I sit through school concerts with my back screaming because they build elementary school auditorium chairs to punish adults for something. I forget Spirit Week exactly often enough to deserve judgment. I build our whole life around one principle. My son will never wonder if he is wanted. Then I meet Marissa. Of course I do. People always meet the wrong person after they finally stop expecting to. We meet at a hospital fundraising gala. I hate galas. Every gala feels like a wedding reception for money. But I go because my department chair insists, and because there is free bourbon and tiny desserts that look expensive enough to have opinions. Marissa works in luxury real estate. She is pretty in a precise way. Smooth hair, perfect nails, the kind of smile that says she has never once lost a fight with a hostess stand. She is funny, fast, polished, and so interested in me that I almost miss the part where she's mostly interested in the idea of me. A stable doctor, no scandals. No messy ex-wife, nice house. Quiet kid, good credit. At the time, I don't translate any of that correctly. At the time, I think she feels safe. Later, I realize I feel useful. That is not the same thing. She has a daughter, Sienna, 14, sharp as a blade and twice as decorative. Sienna has the face of an angel in an ad campaign and the emotional habits of a small dictator. The first few months, everything looks manageable. Marissa tells me it is hard being a single mother. I believe her. She says Sienna is just guarded. I believe that too. She says blending families takes patience, and I am a patient man, so I nod like I am signing a spiritual lease. Then the money starts. Not all at once. That would have been too obvious. First, it's little things. I covered dinner because she forgot her card. I pay for concert tickets because her transfer is delayed. I take care of a car repair because she has a slow quarter and I don't want her stressed. Then it gets bigger. There is always a reason. A moving deposit because her condo is literally unlivable now that she's thinking about our future. A furniture reservation because the sale ends that day and she doesn't want to lose the look she spent weeks curating. Plane tickets for a family weekend because we deserve memories too. A tutoring package for Sienna because Noah has every advantage and I need things to feel balanced. That one almost makes me laugh in her face. My son's advantage is that I read chapter books with him and pack his lunch. Apparently, that now translates to private economics. Marissa has one real genius skill. She can make spending my money sound like a loving act on my part. That is a talent. A dark one, but a talent. She never asks the same way twice. Sometimes she flatters. You're so much calmer about money than other men. Sometimes she guilts, I hate having to think this small when I know what our life could be. Sometimes she turns everything into family planning. If we're serious, we need to stop acting temporary. And because I am tired and grieving, and maybe lonelier than I admit, I start saying yes too often. Not endlessly, but enough. Enough that she comes to expect it. Enough that when I hesitate, she notices. Enough that Sienna notices too, because Sienna watches everything. She watches which stores we go to. She watches when Noah gets something new. She watches whether her mother's face tightens when I say not this month. And she learns fast. At first, her problem with Noah looks like regular teenage meanness. An eye roll here, a sigh there, a little comment under her breath. Why does he chew like that? Why is he always hovering? Did he ask permission to exist in this room, or was that just his vibe? I tell myself it is age, adjustment, territory. Then I start seeing patterns. If Noah gets something thoughtful, Sienna suddenly needs something bigger. If he gets attention, she creates drama. If he is quietly happy, she pokes it. His hoodie disappears into her room and comes back stained with bronzer. His favorite mug cracks because she didn't know it mattered. A framed photo of him and Leah is moved from the hall table to a bottom shelf behind a vase because Sienna says it gives sad energy. That one nearly ends me. When I bring these things up, Marissa does her usual routine. She sighs like I am asking her to solve world hunger with a glue stick. Teddy, she's a teenager. Teddy, you're reading into everything. Teddy, if this family is going to work, the kids have to stop acting like every object is sacred. Every object. As if the photo of my dead wife and my son isn't sacred. As if Noah's feelings are decorative. As if I am the unreasonable one for noticing. I should leave then. I don't. That is the shameful part. Not the money, not the canceled furniture. Hope is the embarrassing part. Hope keeps decent people in dumb situations years longer than pride ever could. By the time we get engaged, Marissa has already started using the word our like it is a direct debit authorization. Our house, our future, our bedroom, our holiday table, our family. But if I look closely, our mostly means mine pays and hers arranges. The townhouse becomes the biggest example. She finds it online and sends me 32 screenshots in one day. It has tall windows, a dramatic staircase, a kitchen island the size of a rowing boat, and a fireplace she describes as editorial. I describe the rent as criminal. She says that is scarcity thinking. I should know then that any woman who says scarcity thinking without irony is going to cost me money. Still, we make a plan. Or at least, I think we do. She is supposed to cover part of the monthly expense after a year-end commission. I cover deposits, furniture holds, and several transitional costs, because it's temporary. Temporary is the most expensive word in the English language. Then come the deliveries. Marissa loves delivery day. Not because she likes receiving things, because she likes theater. She likes a truck arriving, men carrying giant boxes, the house filling with tissue paper and cardboard, and that smell new furniture has when it's pretending to be worth the markup. By December, there are 2 major deliveries scheduled for the townhouse. The first is already paid. A custom dining table, upholstered chairs, a sideboard, some lamp situation I do not understand, and a mirror so large I think it may qualify as a portal. The second delivery is the monster. A velvet sectional, 2 accent chairs, a marble coffee table heavy enough to kill a horse, a brass bar cart she calls playful, a rug that costs more than my first car. Balance due on final authorization, $8,500. Mine. I know that because the invoice hits my email with the subject line, Final Beauty Phase. I wish I were joking. No one should be allowed to call an invoice the final beauty phase, not unless Angels personally installed the sofa. Then there is Christmas. Marissa's family does Christmas like a lifestyle shoot. Everything is staged. The tree looks sponsored. The hot cocoa bar has labels. The napkins match the ribbon. Even the dog looks expensive. Noah tries. That is the worst part. He always tries. He buys Sienna a portable phone tripod out of his own saved money because she makes dance videos and keeps complaining hers is flimsy. He wraps it carefully. He writes her name in his neat block letters. She opens it Christmas Eve and says, "Oh, cute. I actually wanted the taller one." Then later, I find the box under a side table, like an abandoned sample. Noah pretends not to care. The next morning, I give him the phone. I'm nervous about it because it's expensive, yes, but mostly because I know how much it means to him. His old phone is a hand-me-down so old, the battery loses the will to live by lunch. He uses it for school, music, group projects, and moon pictures that are all somehow just gray dots and one hopeful blur. When he opens the new one, his entire face changes. That expression, that open, stunned joy. He looks at me first, not the phone, me, as if he needs confirmation that this happiness is allowed. I smile and tell him, yes, it's his. And then Sienna asks to see it. Noah hands it over, because he is kind, because he still thinks sharing will earn him safety. She turns it around in her hands and says, "Wow, so he gets that?" Marissa doesn't look up. "Don't start. That's it. That is the full discipline. Don't start." Sienna stares at the camera lenses. "Did you really need this?" Noah gives that soft, awkward half smile of his. I mean, not need, but then she lets it drop. Not from surprise, not because she trips. She lets it drop directly onto the stone fireplace edge, like she is testing how permanent joy is. The sound slices right through the room. And then Marissa says, the stupidest sentence I have heard from an adult all year. Total accident. Your son started it. My son started gravity, apparently. My son personally invented recklessness. My son, who has never even slammed a cabinet in anger, is now somehow responsible for Sienna's hand opening at exactly the cruelest moment. Then Noah says that sentence. It's okay. I probably didn't deserve it anyway. I hear every compromise I've made in that line. Every time I let Marissa smooth something over. Every time I chose patience over confrontation. Every time I told myself, blended families are messy. No. Messy is forgetting stockings. Messy is two kids arguing over bathroom time. Messy is somebody crying because the cinnamon rolls have nuts. Messy is not one child learning to shrink so another can stay comfortable. I leave with Noah. In the car, he apologizes. Of course he does. "I'm sorry, Dad." I grip the wheel. For what? He looks out the window for making everything weird. That nearly makes me pull over. Not because I'm angry at him, because I finally understand how much work he's been doing emotionally just to survive around them. "You did not make anything weird," I tell him. "You were happy. Someone punished you for it. Those are not the same thing." He nods, but he still looks guilty. That is when I know this is not a conversation problem anymore. This is a boundary problem. I take him home. I make him eggs he barely touches. I tell him to go upstairs, watch something stupid, and not think about any of this until after lunch. Then I sit at my kitchen island with my laptop, my phone, and the kind of clarity people only ever get after a line is crossed in front of witnesses. First, I log into the furniture portal. The second delivery still shows scheduled for December 26, with the balance pending final cardholder release. I don't scream. I don't send a dramatic email. I just pause authorization. Clean, cold, professional. Status changes immediately, pending verification. Then I email the showroom. Due to changes in household occupancy plans, please cancel delivery window B and hold all remaining items until further written instruction. Household occupancy plans. I read that back and almost laugh into my coffee. Then I call the logistics company. Marissa has arranged a ridiculous post-Christmas reveal install. The second delivery is supposed to arrive while she's at brunch, so she can come home to the townhouse and film a glamorous reaction for social media. She has notes for camera angles. There is a folder on my desk literally called Vision. I cancel the install. Then I remove my card from the remaining service authorization. Then I check the floral subscription for the townhouse entryway. Canceled. Then the premium holiday decor extension. Canceled. Then the internet autopay. Transferred out. Then, because apparently my humiliation has layers, I discover that I have been paying for a monthly champagne subscription to a house nobody permanently lives in yet. A champagne subscription. For a transitional townhouse. 12 curated bottles a year for intentional celebrating. I sit there staring at the screen like I have found a raccoon operating a hedge fund. Then I cancel intentional celebrating. At that point, any sane person would stop. I do not stop. Because then I remember the luxury gift box. Weeks earlier, Marissa sends me an approval request for a giant curated holiday box to be delivered to her on Christmas afternoon. Roses, imported chocolates, perfume, silk robe, spa voucher, jewelry tray, candle set. All of it packaged in a huge ivory tower with satin ribbon like a princess got a sponsorship. She says, "I want something beautiful to open after the chaos." The chaos apparently being other people existing. I had approved it because I was tired, but the company allows customization changes until midnight on Christmas Eve. So I call. The woman who answers sounds like she has personally seen some things in holiday logistics. Absolutely, Dr. Mercer, she says. We can still revise the contents while preserving the presentation. Perfect. I keep the giant box. I keep the flowers. I keep the satin ribbon. I keep the little gold foil tag with Marissa's name on it. Inside, I replace the luxury contents with a household budget ledger, a calculator, a pack of index tabs, a framed printout of the canceled second delivery notice, a printed copy of the paused $8,500 authorization summary, and a card. The card says, "You do not get luxury funded by a man whose son you taught to feel guilty for receiving love. Your second delivery is canceled. I'm not your backup bank. Teddy." Then, after a second, I add, "P.S. The roses can stay. They didn't do anything wrong." The woman on the phone goes very quiet. Then she says, with what I can only describe as festive professional respect, "I can absolutely arrange that. That should be enough." It really should. But then I remember Marissa's bakery booking for Christmas brunch. A dessert tower, croquembouche, macarons, mini tarts, sugared fruit, edible gold leaf, and a little acrylic sign that says, "Merry and Bright." I already paid the deposit. The bakery has a seasonal add-on menu. Most of it is normal. Cookie telegram, carolers, hot chocolate cart. Then I see it. One holiday performer package called the Regret Elf. I actually blink and lean closer to the screen because I think I'm hallucinating from rage and caffeine. The Regret Elf is, according to the description, a comedic and costume messenger who delivers light accountability greetings for office parties, breakups, canceled engagements, passive-aggressive hostess situations, and general, festive truth-telling. There is no way God does not want me to click this. So I do. I customize the message very carefully. No swearing, no personal insults, no chaos I cannot later defend in front of a judge if necessary. Just this. Special festive notice for Marissa. When a child's gift is broken and the child is blamed, luxury perks may vanish. This is a North Pole budget correction. Please review your behavior and your spending. Happy holidays. Then, in the performer notes I write, "Please commit fully to the bit. Upbeat but firm." I book it for noon. I sit back in my chair. I stare at the confirmation. Then, for the first time all day, I laugh. Not because any of this is actually funny underneath, but because once the truth becomes obvious, the absurdity around it becomes impossible to ignore. That night, I go upstairs and sit on the edge of Noah's bed. He's not asleep yet. The broken phone is on his nightstand. He looks at me. "Are you mad?" At first, I don't even know what to do with the question. Mad at who? He shrugs. "Just mad." I pick up the broken phone and turn it over in my hand. "This is getting replaced," I tell him. "You don't have to." I know. He looks confused. I set the phone down. "You do not have to earn kindness in this house," I say. "You don't have to be easier to love. You don't have to make yourself smaller so other people can act bigger. Do you understand me?" He stares at me for a second, then nods. "Okay." He still looks unsure, so I add the part I should have made clear months earlier. "You are not responsible for managing adults. That one lands. I can see it." He nods again, slower this time. "Okay." The next morning, the family chat detonates before I finish my coffee. The group chat is called Christmas Crew, which should already qualify as a misdemeanor. At 6:11 a.m., Diane writes, "What did you do to the delivery?" At 6:12, Brent writes, "Is this about the couch LMAO?" At 6:13, Mallory writes, "Wait, did he actually cancel it on Christmas?" At 6:14, Marissa texts me privately, "What did you do?" Then, "Teddy, answer me." Then, "My card got hit with a hold fee." Then, "My mother knows." Then, "You are humiliating me." Interesting. Still not one word about Noah. Not one word about the phone. Not one word about Sienna. Just money and humiliation. That tells me everything I need to know. At 11:58, the gift service arrives. I know because Brent, whom I never expected to become my accidental holiday correspondent, sends me a text that says, "Oh my God, the giant box is here." At 12:01, he sends another. She thinks it's jewelry. At 12:03, elf spotted. I set my coffee down so fast I nearly kill the mug. Then my phone starts buzzing like a trapped insect because Brent has moved from texting to narrating in real time. Apparently, the giant ivory gift box is placed right in Marissa's townhouse foyer under the dramatic staircase. Apparently, Diane insists everyone wait because she wants video. Apparently, Marissa smooths her hair, stands beside the box in cream loungewear, and says, "Well, at least something beautiful arrived today." Then she opens it. Roses first. Lovely. Innocent. Framed by tissue paper. Then the calculator. Then the ledger. Then the packet of index tabs. Then the framed cancellation notice. Then the card. Brent later tells me Marissa reads the first line silently and then accidentally starts reading the second line out loud before stopping dead at "whose son you taught," Diane says. What does that mean? And in that exact moment, the doorbell rings. Enter the elf. I do not see this live, but Brent's retelling is so vivid, I can practically hear the bells. The elf is in full costume, green velvet, red tights, pointed shoes, hat, a silver bell, lickboard with candy cane trim. The confidence of a man who has absolutely found his calling in seasonal confrontation. He walks into the foyer like he is entering a Broadway revival. Then he rings the bell and announces special, festive accountability message for Marissa. Brent starts laughing so hard, he has to sit on the stairs. Marissa says, "No, absolutely not. No." The elf, to his everlasting credit, does not even blink. He reads, "When a child's gift is broken and the child is blamed, luxury perks may vanish. This is a North Pole budget correction. Please review your behavior and your spending. Happy holidays." Then he smiles and says, "Growth is the greatest gift." I have to physically sit down at my kitchen table when Brent tells me that part. Apparently, Sienna yells, "Mom, why is there a snitch elf?" And the elf, who should be knighted, responds, "Seasonal truth is not snitching, young lady. If I live to be 100, that line will still nourish me." Then, because the universe occasionally writes comedy with both hands, Marissa tries to back away from the gift display in a fury, steps on the trailing satin ribbon, and the entire interior arrangement shifts. The roses tilt. The calculator bounces. The framed delivery cancellation slides dramatically across the tile and comes to rest against the staircase, like a museum piece, titled "Consequences in Gold Leaf." Brent sends me one final text. "Bro, this is the funniest thing I have ever seen, and also, I fear for society." I reply, "Save the footage. Future generations need context." At 1 p.m, Marissa is at my door with Diane. Of course she is. She looks flawless in the way people do when they are furious enough to become aerodynamic. Diane is wrapped in cashmere and outrage. I step outside and close the door behind me. Marissa doesn't bother with, "Hello. How dare you?" I almost smile. "Good afternoon." "Don't," she snaps. "Do not get calm with me now. You sent an elf." "Yes." "You humiliated me." "No," I say. "I changed financial decisions and added pageantry." Diane makes it sound like she may need oxygen. Marissa points a shaking finger at me. "Over a phone." There it is again. Always over a phone. Always over one thing. Never over the pattern, never over the child. So I say it clearly. No. Over my son saying he probably didn't deserve a gift after your daughter smashed it and you blamed him. Marissa folds her arms. "Sienna did not smash it. It slipped." I look at her for a long second. "It is fascinating," I say, "how every story in your house seems to end with Noah somehow causing things people do to him." That lands. I can see it. She hates being summarized accurately. Diane cuts in. "This is a gross overreaction. Children fight." "No," I say. "Children fight. Adults excuse patterns when it benefits them." Marissa's face goes flat. "You canceled furniture that belongs to our future." I shake my head. There is no our future. Not one that I'm funding. That hits harder than the elf. She actually goes quiet. Then she tries one last pivot. "So that's it? You're ending an engagement because of one ugly holiday moment?" I look right at her. I'm ending this because I can't marry someone who teaches my son to apologize for being hurt. Silence. Real silence. Not the theatrical kind. The kind where the truth finally gets too simple to decorate. Diane says, "You are punishing my daughter financially." Yes, I say. I am removing myself financially from a situation where my child is treated badly. That is not punishment. That is a boundary. Marissa laughs once, sharp and mean. Unbelievable. No, I say, actually very believable. That's the problem. For a second, I think she might cry. Instead, she gets colder. Fine, she says. Then we're done. Yes, I say. We are. The nicest thing about that sentence is that for once, she and I mean the same thing. They leave in a storm of perfume and indignation. I go back inside. Noah is in the hall, pretending he has not heard a word. Kids always hear. He looks up. Is it over? Yes. He nods once. Okay, then he hesitates. Was there really an elf? I stare at him. Who told you? Brent posted a blurry video and then deleted it. I exhale through my nose. Yes, I say, there was really an elf. Noah laughs so hard he snorts. That sound is worth more than the $8,500. Over the next week, I do what I should have done months earlier. I untangle every financial tie I can legally remove. Electricity transfer request. Done. Internet autopay. Removed. Entryway floral subscription. Canceled. Luxury home fragrance club. Canceled, with the kind of satisfaction some people reserve for skydiving. Holiday decor extension. Canceled. Champagne of the month membership. Canceled and, in my opinion, morally corrected. Then I discover one more thing. A weekly premium bottled water service for the townhouse. Not a joke. Not a spa. A house. Marissa has a waterman. I stare at the account details so long I can feel my ancestors becoming alert. Apparently, this is for entertaining. I cancel that too. Because any home where a child is made to feel unwanted can drink from the tap. The aftermath is loud in all the predictable ways. My phone fills with calls. Missed calls from Marissa. One from Diane. Two from a number I don't recognize that turns out to be Marissa's aunt, apparently drafted as outside counsel for emotional nonsense. Text from Mallory asking if I can please not escalate publicly. Brent keeps texting me updates from inside the wreckage like he is embedded media. Then comes the funniest one. He calls me one afternoon laughing so hard he can barely form language. What? I ask. He gasps. You canceled the champagne membership. Yes, he wheezes. The delivery guy came anyway with one final bottle because there was a timing overlap, and Marissa tried to sign for it, and he said, "I'm sorry, ma'am. You are no longer the authorized celebration contact." I put a hand over my face. No, I swear to God. What happened then? Diane asked, what kind of man cancels joy? And the driver just stood there, holding a bottle of sparkling rosé, like he had wandered into a rich people hostage situation. I actually laugh out loud, like fully laugh. Not because any of this is nice, because once the emotional truth clears, the logistics become incredible. A day later, Brent sends me another message. Water guy came too. She told him to just leave it, and he said account integrity matters. Then he wheeled away. Your ex-fiancé's hydration like a hero. I saved that screenshot forever. Noah doesn't see most of this. That matters to me. I don't tell him the details. I don't make him carry the adult spectacle. I just replace the phone. We go to the store together 3 days after Christmas. He keeps saying I don't have to get the same one. I tell him I know. Then I get him a slightly better one, a stronger case, and insurance because apparently I am now a man with a themed trauma response. The sales guy asks if we are doing a holiday replacement. Noah glances at me first. I nod. He says, yeah. The first one got broken. The guy winces. That sucks. Noah shrugs. It did. Past tense. That helps. On the drive home, he asks, very quietly, did I really not do anything wrong? I keep my eyes on the road, because if I look at him too fast, I may have to pull over and swear at fate. No, I say. Not one thing. He nods. Then, after a minute, he says, I think I knew that. I just thought saying it out loud would make everything harder. That sentence stays with me, because There it is. The whole issue. He isn't confused about fairness. He is managing cost. He has learned to calculate whether telling the truth about hurt is worth the room turning cold. That is not a lesson a child should know. I tell him, any house that needs you to deny your own hurt to keep the peace is not a peaceful house. He thinks about that. Then he says, that sounds like something a mom in a movie says. I snort. I deliver babies for a living. I contain multitudes. He laughs. We get burgers. He shows me the camera settings on his new phone like he is slowly coming back into his own skin. The ring goes back to Marissa by insured courier. No note, no letter, no speech. Just a velvet box, tracking number, and silence. She emails once about shared premarital household investments. Marcus, a lawyer friend of mine, replies after I forward it, "This is the most expensive way I've ever seen someone say, I thought he'd keep paying." I send him muffins. At the hospital, life continues, because of course it does. Babies do not care about your holiday catastrophe. One woman goes into labor during my lunch and still apologizes for the timing, which is something only pregnant women and Canadians say with complete sincerity. One dad cries so hard during Skin to Skin that his glasses fog. A grandmother insists the newborn already has good calves, which is not a sentence I ever expect to hear in obstetrics. And yet there it is. Work helps. Not because it distracts me, because it reminds me what care looks like when it is real. Real care is practical. Real care protects. Real care does not keep score and send invoices. Later, on New Year's Eve, it's just me and Noah at home. No gala, no party, no staged brunch, no decorative bar cart pretending to be a personality. We order pizza, build a blanket fort in the living room, and watch a completely terrible disaster movie where the government makes every wrong decision exactly on schedule. At midnight, we clink root beer bottles. Noah grins at me across the coffee table. He says, "This is better." I nod. Yes, it is. Because it is ours. Not glossy, not curated, not expensive in all the loud ways. Just ours. The next morning, Brent sends me a photo. The canceled brass bar cart is back in the showroom with the return hold tag hanging from it. He captions it, "Pour one out for intentional celebrating. I laugh so hard I wake the dog." After that, things quiet down. Not instantly, but honestly. Marissa tries twice more. Once through email to say I blindsided her and weaponized Christmas aesthetics, which is one of the funniest accusations ever made against me. Once through Mallory, who calls to say Marissa is devastated and embarrassed and did not realize the phone issue was symbolic for me. The phone issue. I say, if she still thinks it was about the phone, then she learned nothing. Mallory has no answer for that. Diane never apologizes. Sienna, according to Brent, spends 2 weeks blaming that creepy elf for ruining her break. That also tells me everything. Not her own behavior, not the smashed phone. The elf. Good. Let the elf haunt her. By late January, I feel something unfamiliar. Quiet. Not the scared kind. Not the lonely kind. Useful quiet. The kind that appears when nobody is siphoning from your peace. No more texts about deposits. No more links to absurd furniture with captions like, "This is us." No more emergency spending framed as emotional maturity. No more watching Noah brace himself before entering a room. That last one matters most. One Saturday, I'm cleaning the living room and find one of Noah's sketch pages under the couch. It is a drawing of our kitchen. Nothing dramatic, just me at the stove, him at the table. The dog underfoot hoping gravity will produce cheese. Snow outside the window. Above it, in his careful handwriting, he has written, "Home is where you don't have to earn stuff." I sit down right there on the rug. Not because I'm sad, because I am relieved enough to feel it all at once. I frame that drawing. It goes in my study above the bookshelf. That is my real closure. Not the canceled couch, not the elf, not Marissa freezing over a budget ledger in a giant ivory gift box. Though, to be clear, that remains extraordinary. The real closure is smaller. My son laughs more. He leaves his new phone on the counter without flinching if somebody walks past. He stops apologizing for asking questions. He starts taking pictures again. The moon, the dog, a weirdly artistic pickle jar in the fridge, because apparently I am raising a documentarian of nonsense. By February, he asks one question over dinner. Are you sad? I think about it. A little, I say. But mostly, I'm clear. He nods, like that makes perfect sense. Kids understand clarity better than adults do. Adults worship complexity because it lets them hide inside it. Kids know when a place feels bad. They know when someone is unfair. They know who gets protected. The rest is just vocabulary. One final ridiculous thing happens in March. A delivery truck pulls up in front of my house by mistake. Two men wrestle a gigantic box toward my porch before checking the label. Wrong address, wrong street, actually. One of them looks at me and says, You, Marissa? I say, absolutely not. He looks relieved. Then he squints at the paperwork and mutters, Second luxury reroute this week. I do not ask questions because I no longer need answers that badly. But then he adds, These people buy chairs like they're rebuilding Versailles, and I have to turn my face away because if I laugh directly at him, it feels impolite. He wheels the box back to the truck. I stand there in the cold, holding my coffee, and watching someone else return someone else's drama to sender. And for a second, it feels symbolic enough to count. So that is what happens. I don't destroy Marissa. I don't ruin her life. I don't scream, threaten, or plot revenge like a man in a cable thriller. I simply stop paying for a future that requires my son to shrink himself to fit inside it. That is all, and it is enough. Because the truth is simple. A child notices who steps in. A child notices who stays seated. A child notices whether love arrives with conditions attached. Money doesn't create character, but it reveals entitlement fast. And financial boundaries are not cruelty when the other person has mistaken your wallet for your vows. If there is any lesson in all of this, it is this. Never fund a home that teaches your child to doubt their own worth. Never confuse patience with surrender. And never underestimate the moral force of a canceled delivery, a printed invoice, and one deeply committed accountability elf who understands family ethics better than half the adults in a designer living room.